Hello, my name is Samantha, and this is my project presentation over my service learning experience at Fort Oak Cliff. So, Fort Oak Cliff is a nonprofit organization based in South Oak Cliff, and their goal is to liberate Oak Cliff from systemic oppression, create a culture of education, and increase the social mobility and social capital. All of their work that they do is based on four separate pillars, which are education, advocacy, community building, and the arts. It all started in 2014 with Taylor Tones, who is the founder and executive director of Fort Oak Cliff. In 2014, he was working at his local elementary school as a teacher when he found that a lot of his students did not have school supplies. And so in 2015, he started a back to school drive and he got a lot of kids set up with school supplies. He had incredible participation, and so every year after that, that's where Oak Cliff started, was with supplying children with school supplies. And then from there, they just built on and on to include other activities and programs for the community. The client population that Fort Oak Cliff serves starts with just the underserved and underrepresented members of the community that is South Oak Cliff and the children there and their families. I worked more closely with the education department that is ran by Dr. Jennifer Hills and Unisha Wells. I was helping and involved in their research study for children's language development. We had about 22 to 25 families signed up, and we sent each one of these families a package to help them get started. And basically, they had a vest for the child, and the children ranged anywhere from newborns to 3 years old. And the package came with the vest, and along with the vest was what we call a pedometer. And the pedometer isn't actually a recording, but we do require the parents start it very early in the morning one day and try to get a 16-hour recording where this pedometer is on the child and it's picking up words that the child is speaking and the words that are being spoken to the child from an adult. And this pedometer is actually able to differentiate between adult words spoken and then the conversational returns that are provided from the child. So even with our younger babies of 5-6 months old, any coos or ga's that they were able to return as a result of them being spoken to was picked up by this little machine. And so each week they had to upload their recording, and we put it into a system, and it generates graphs and charts, and on there it logs how many words were spoken, how long were they spoken to. You can tell when the children were napping or when they were playing or something and there wasn't so much conversation. And basically they've taken all this information in order to better provide this specific community with ways to improve their child's language development before entering the school years. And that's done through, they provide curriculum that they send out to the parents every week. They provide different activities, songs, dances that they can use to get their children just a little more engaged and have fun with picking up language. And it doesn't matter what the language is. That it's incredible that little machine is able to pick up if you're speaking to them in English, Spanish, French. It just picks up conversation. And when these results are taken in and analyzed, the director of the program, Dr. Jennifer Hills, she is able to see who is behind, who is ahead, and those children who seem to be behind for their age group. She sends out specific plans and helpful tips for the parents. It was reiterated to me several times that their goal was never to teach parents how to parent or tell them that their children are lacking. It's really just a very supportive program in helping parents and making sure that their kids just stay on track so that way they succeed in school. And so it's really just a helpful thing for parents. It's something fun. Every week they were giving out prizes for participation, and everyone really seemed to. All throughout my entire experience interning with Fort Oak Cliff, I found that the only suggestion I could make to them to improve the effectiveness of their organization and their mission to these children and their families would be to seek out more volunteers. I know there's a lot more people out there like me who are interested in helping children and their families, and it seems like the workload is a lot to run between 3 to 4 people. And so my suggestion would be maybe have a couple volunteers or hire even just one more staff member and have certain groups of individuals focus on specific age groups. So since we do newborns all the way to 3 years, there could be a whole team that focuses on the infants, newborns, 1 year old, 2 year olds, and 3 year olds. I think that would not only increase the accuracy of the results, but there would be a lot more support that this organization could provide to the families and a lot more attentiveness. And overall, I just think it would improve participation as well. These people will go and tell their friends that, hey, my kid is loving this program, Lena, that Fort Oak Cliff provides. And that way, just through word of mouth, you have more and more people joining, and this incredible mission just spreads, and it's helpful to so many people. So lastly, it can't be ignored that there was, of course, some provisions made for this program because of the effects of COVID-19 and the pandemic that we're in. Normally, they have a hub, and that's located off of South Marseilles Avenue in South Oak Cliff. And that's where the families would come, and their weekly meetings would be in person. And the songs and dances and everything I mentioned earlier would be done in person, and it's a lot more exciting, and the kids get to mingle and hang out. But COVID-19 did not allow that, and so our weekly meetings were done through Zoom. And anytime that somebody won a prize, or if one family, because the families were only ever competing against themselves, and so every week, if one family increased their reading time every week, they would send out a gift to them. It used to be that families would have to go and pick them up, and they still could, but they would leave them outside the door with their name, and the family had to let the staff members at Fort Oak Cliff know when they were coming, and they would just come pick them up, and there was no contact. If not, they were willing to send them out to the families, their prizes and their curriculum, and like I said, the packages to get them started with the study. Everything was sent to them. Or they were even doing deliveries, and they would take everything to the doors of these families, which is incredible because that's a big adjustment, and it creates an even heavier workload for the staff members at Fort Oak Cliff. But they did it because they didn't want COVID to interfere with the effectiveness of their purpose and their mission. So overall, it was a slight adjustment, but their work was still incredible, and it was so much fun to be a part of this, and they're going to continue to do it. And they found that everything is still working with the provisions that were put in place with COVID-19, and they're going to run a second cohort of studies, and I'm excited to hopefully be a part of that as well. Thank you.